Okay, today we're going to talk about how to create a Jira issue. Go to the top of your screen and you'll see a orange highlighted create button. Go ahead and select create. The first thing you want to do is you want to scroll to the top of your create box and make sure that you selected the correct project. You also want to make sure you select the correct issue type. This could be story, it could be task, it could be bug, etc. We use stories in our project. Now you want to add a summary. The summary is going to be the title of the issue. So in this case, I'm going to say create a Jira class. Okay. Versions and releases are synonymous. Okay, so here you would identify the release in which you want to attach the issue to. For me, I'm going to select Q2. This is where I'm going to be doing most of my work for that. Priority, you can select priority, medium, high, low, etc., etc. I'm going to stick with medium. Team, we don't use teams. This is for large projects that break up teams. But if you happen to be in a large project, you can identify the team in which you should associate this issue with. Next thing is assign. I'm going to go ahead and select the assign to me button, but obviously you can highlight the assign area and select anybody you wish. The program increment, we can attach to a particular program increment. As you know, we do several PIs throughout the year. Each PI is associated with 5 sprints and Kanban teams. I happen to work in a Kanban team, but other teams work in more of a sprint level. If you're in a sprint, you will do the 5 sprints per PI, 4 of which is performing PI goals and functions. The 5th one is to run and perform things that the team feels is important to improve their effectiveness. A sprint. You can identify what sprint you're associated with. Is it sprint 1, 2, 3, 4 for the PI, or is it sprint 5? Story points. Story points you'll understand more when you take safe training. But basically, I'm going to give this a story point of 2. Each sprint team has so many story points they can perform during a sprint. I've just subtracted 2 points from that total that is expected for that team. Feature links, components we don't use, but you could associate this issue to either of those. Label, I will use label, and here I'll add training as my label. Basically, this is what the Kanban board uses for creating its swim lanes. So we have a swim lane called training, so this issue will show up in that swim lane moving forward. Scroll down to the bottom, give it a good description. But especially give it a good acceptance criteria. And the acceptance criteria for this particular training would be to develop the training, create the movie, create the screenshots, publish the training onto Workplace. And so that would be my acceptance criteria. So I would identify that in the acceptance criteria area. And then when I go to ask for this issue to be closed, who's ever closing it will review what I've done against the acceptance criteria and accept that as a closed issue, a resolved issue. Anything else we can do? Dependencies, you can do all sorts of things. We don't use them particularly here. I wouldn't do any of the risks or anything else like that. Those we'll use as we become more and more mature. If you scroll back up to the top of the screen and click on the Planning tab, in here I will put an estimated 1 day to do level of work. So you can do 1D, will provide the level of work. And basically what this will do is it says, okay, all the work that I'm going to do in the acceptance criteria for this particular class will take me 1 day's worth of work. Scroll down to the bottom and select create. Now this creates your issue, and you will not find your issue in your Kanban. Well, you'll find your issue is in your backlog. So in order to move the issue from backlog to Kanban, you have to go to the backlog, select backlog, find the issue that you created, and then move that up into your Kanban. We happen to have a to-do is our beginning flow of our Kanban. Well, that concludes how to create an issue. If you have any questions, please give me a call. If you want to, please hit the button below to subscribe and the other button below to like, and I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a great day.